This video is brought to you by a huge mountain of drugs. Tatyova Benthic Druid versus Marath, Will of the Wild. And we've got quite a start here, so we will definitely keep on this one. We do not have a turn 1 Tatyova because we need both of our colours, but we can go for a Wood Elves. I think we'll wait on the Wood Elves because it's one extra. Yeah, it's one extra landfall trigger with the Tatyova. So let's go Breeding Pool in tapped, and we'll see if our opponent scoops to the fast mana. Well, it doesn't look as though we are going to get a fast scoop here because Pro CY is a friend of the channel, so big thank you for watching. And we get into a forest. This is a souped up version of Tatyova from way back when the channel first started. We do have things like Field of the Dead and mixed basics in here and stuff like that. So we'll go for a turn 2 Tatyova and hope that our opponent doesn't have any mana. We should be able to draw a decent number of cards, 2 from Misty Rainforest, 1 from Wood Elves next turn. And that is more ramp from our opponent in a Wild Growth. They do have all of their colours now for as long as they have the Birds of Paradise and a Sword of Feast and Famine. Protection from green might be relevant in this game. Losing the flip twice to Mana Crypt. So that hits us for 6 life. Luckily we've got a decent amount of life gain in a Tatyova deck. Mana Vault hurts us as well, and that's even more fast mana, hitting all of our fast mana pieces. So hardly a fair game, this one. Just throw out the Wood Elves. And we'll get the Tropical Island. That will draw us a card, gain us a life with Tatyova. Now it's Crucible of Worlds, which goes very nicely with the Misty Rainforest, so it's pretty much play Misty Rainforest, and we'll crack that, go for a basic island. Crucible of Worlds this turn, I think. Yeah, and there's a City of Brass, so we'll go Crucible of Worlds. Argument to be made for going Beast Within onto the sword, but I think we can risk it. Makes it more predictable, knowing what our opponent's likely to do next turn as well. And we'll hit them for a little bit of commander damage. Now an Earthcraft, so they might be able to combo off before we're able to get the win. Beast Within on the Earthcraft might be what we have to go for instead. Also getting out their Marath, so they might be able to Lightning Bolt the Tatyova next turn. Anyway, deciding to tap down their Marath to the Earthcraft, that untaps the land that generates 2 mana. Then deciding to use the mana instead of bolting us to make an elemental, and then equipping the elemental with the Sword of Feast and Famine, spreading their threats around. We actually win the flip with Mana Crypt this time. And there's a new one from Strixhaven, Quandrix's Apprentice. Whenever we cast an instant or sorcery, we can hopefully get a land in the top 3 into our hand. Let's go for this Titania, and we'll start making a lot of 5/3 tokens here. Titania grabs the Misty Rainforest out of the bin. We could have played it with the Crucible anyway, but that just gets us even more landfall triggers. We're likely to refill our hand this turn. So crack that, makes a 5/3 elemental. And then with the landfall, we are obviously going to draw cards with Tatyova. Courser of Crufix allows us even more landfall off the top potentially. But let's go for playing our land for the turn with Misty Rainforest. Curse of the Swine might be an idea. Yeah, I think we probably go Curse of the Swine this turn. So cracking the Misty Rainforest makes another elemental. And we'll get every basic type out. So we've got 4 different lands there, and a couple there obviously, so if we get into Field of the Dead it will be triggered. Now it's either Beast Within or Curse of the Swine here. I'm thinking I want to get rid of the Earthcraft, to be honest. So just to make use of all of our mana, let's go Quandrix's Apprentice. I had 1 floating, so I have to do the Beast Within here. Let's go after that Earthcraft before they assemble some kind of combo. Trigger the Quandrix's Apprentice, and they decide to untap a land in response to that by tapping down the Elemental. They're making another Elemental token with the Marath. And they've got 1 floating, so they can do it again if they don't mind losing their commander. And they do decide to lose their commander, making yet another elemental. And we reveal Azusa. That would have been really good with the Crucible. Another Crucible of Worlds in Ramunap. And Blighted Woodland we reveal and put into our hand. The others go on the bottom. So giving them a 3/3 beast will keep us from swinging in this turn. We'll just pass at that. And E-Witness, and no doubt grabbing back the Earthcraft with that. So maybe we put some resources into getting rid of it with the Acidic Slime. Seeing as how they are eager to keep it in play. 2 cards left in hand only. And they do have pro-green here, so they can get straight through, force us to discard. The least useful land to us here is the Snow-Covered Forest, and we can play it from the bin anyway. Because like I said, we want to have 7 different land types, and we've already got a Snow-Covered Forest in play. And then the Marath comes into play again. So they've got plenty of mana thanks to that Earthcraft. They can do some stuff with the Marath. Immediately untapping their forest. And just making a bunch of mana with all these creatures and the Earthcraft. Blowing up our Titania with the Marath. Knocks it all the way down to 2, so now our Tatyova is out of range of being hit. Then equipping the Sword of Feast and Famine onto their commander, bumps it up to a 4/4 again so they can remove the 2+ counters and it will still survive. Now it's a Reliquary Tower, which I think we might make use of this turn, although do we want to just keep going Misty Rainforest to draw more cards? I think we'll get down the Nissa first, so that we can flip that around. Put a forest into our hand, and then play the Misty Rainforest. That will trigger both Tatyova and the Nissa. And that is encouraging them to go for the Earthcraft again, so they're probably going to use the last of the counters from their Marath here to keep us from getting a Planeswalker, which is fine with me. And yeah, that is 2 damage going on to the Nissa, so we won't get the Planeswalker. As we can see, Marath does survive though. Don't know how much use it is without plus counters on it though. We can always get rid of it with Curse of Swine. Sakura Tribe Elder is more triggers for us. I think we want to get rid of the Earthcraft again. We'll go Acidic Slime. If we draw enough cards, Sword of Feast and Famine isn't too great towards us because, especially with being able to play lands out of the bin, we don't necessarily mind getting rid of those. Let's see what we draw into with the Misty Rainforest. Okay, that's a Scape Shift, so next turn we can probably go Scape Shift. Do we want to gain even more life with a Courser of Crufix? I think that's alright, although we don't have double green, so Sakura Tribe Elder it is. We can draw another card with Sakura Tribe Elder, I suppose. Haven't triggered the Quandrix Apprentice all that much yet, but we do have a couple of instants and sorceries in hand, so we can keep up the lands in our hand that way. Nature's Law from our opponent, still 2 cards in hand after that. Now equipping the Beast with the Sword. And that kills off the Marath. So probably wanting to recast it again. And swinging in towards us for 5 damage, we will get rid of the basic forest. Saving grace there is that it's not commander damage at least. And there comes Marath again. Coming in with 7+ counters this time. So let's draw a card with the Sakura Tribe Elder. And we'll get some more green mana with that. Trigger the Tatyova again. There's been a distinct lack of removal against the Tatyova this game, which has been very useful to us. And also we were at a massive advantage thanks to the fast mana. Getting bolted again to the crypt though, I think it would be a good idea to get this Courser of Crufix down to start gaining some life. And we managed to draw into the Azusa, so this is where we run away with the game, if we haven't run away with it already, I think. Throw down Azusa. And we'll throw down the Courser of Crufix as well for the life gain. And we have a Mystical Tutor on top, which I'm not averse to drawing into, but not too desperate for it. I think I can go Scape Shift instead. So let's go... Yeah, we'll tap those down for green. And we'll just tap those down for the sake of it. Because I'm not entirely sure what I'm sacrificing here. Let's go Scape Shift. Quandrix Apprentice triggers, so we will reveal the Mystical Tutor as well as a couple of other cards, E-Witness and Burgeoning. Neither of which are lands, so they go to the bottom. We're going to shuffle around here anyway. And I only really want Field of the Dead. I don't have all the lands matter combos in this deck because, well, we don't necessarily need them, so I'll just get rid of a Snow Island and a Forest because we have 2 of those already. We can get Gaia's Cradle and the Field of the Dead, I think. Could have got way more lands out there and drawn a whole bunch of cards, but Reliquary Tower is in hand and... yeah, maybe could have done that. We do have lands to make this turn. Maybe should have gone more crazy here. Anyway, Field of the Dead, Courser of Kruphix and Tatyova each trigger twice. So we gain 4 life and get a couple of zombies. And it is now Command Beacon that is on top of our library. Let's continue to just make use of this Misty Rainforest. Triggering our ETBs as we go. Rex Sage is on top, don't mind shuffling that away. And then cracking the Misty Rainforest, we are going to draw into the Fierce Guardianship. That's really good. I think we get down Reliquary Tower now. Doesn't seem as though there's going to be a good time to play that over the fetch land, because we only draw 1 card from that. And there's a Brainstorm. I think we play the Brainstorm, although the problem is, yeah, if we go Brainstorm now, it'll trigger the Quandrix and we'll put the Avenger of Zendikar on the bottom. So let's just go for the Misty now. Draw into the Avenger. And then we can Brainstorm, put something on top, maybe shuffle some things away. So like I said, triggering the Quandrix. We know we've at least got a Prismatic Vista on top. Could have had Ugin the Spirit Dragon, but we'll go Prismatic Vista into hand, the other 2 on the bottom. There's a Mind Sculptor there as well. And hopefully we'll get to the point where we can actually start winning at some point here. We've got Nissa Vital Force there, which is really good. Just put a couple of basics on top, I think, with the Brainstorm. Yeah, I don't think we need Nissa Vital Force, so let's just crack this for a blue. And we can get rid of their commander with Curse of the Swine. That obviously triggers everything. We get another counterspell into hand. There's another fetch on top. Let's get rid of the Marath, and they've got plenty of colours of mana now, so let's just get rid of the bigger creature in the Beast. X is obviously 2 there, and we do get a Quandrix trigger. So probably Verdant Catacombs into hand. That did sit there for a while, but Quandrix has gotten us some decent card advantage. Yeah, our opponent decided to scoop there. Like I said, I don't want to just make my opponent sit there and watch me play. But I think we could have been looking at getting towards a victory next turn, especially with all those zombie tokens, so fair enough to call it a day there. Probably would have taken me another turn or 2. Hopefully you all enjoyed this one. Let's go over to the deck list and I'll try and remember some of the edits that I've made to this deck. Alright, so let's see here. I'm not necessarily entirely sure the exact edits that I made. There's the Quandrix Apprentice, which I just wanted to try out. I think I've got about 20 instants and sorceries in the deck, so it's not as good as it would be in other decks, but we've got plenty of land shooters and things like that, cultivates and the like, so I think it's well worth running that, and we did get some good use of it that game. Resculpt, that is here instead of the one that I can't remember the name of. I'll put it on screen now. But it exiles a card from the top of your library, turns it into a 2/2. But you can only exile a creature at sorcery speed with that. This is an instant and it gets rid of artifacts and creatures. I don't like that blue is exiling artifacts now, but that's the direction they're going in, so we'll play the card. Oko, Thief of Crowns, was in there already as a previous edit. Uro has come down dramatically in price now, which I didn't realise, seeing as how it's been banned everywhere, so haven't played with Uro yet, but I have high hopes for that one. And in situations like we were in that previous game, we'll be able to escape it quite easily. Yeah, Scapeshift was already in there. We could have gone more crazy with Scapeshift that game, but yeah, probably should have done, then we could have closed it out more quickly with Field of the Dead. Prophet of Kruphix has always been in here. This is not banned in 1v1. People always, I get comments weekly to this day about certain cards being banned and we shouldn't be running them and blah blah blah. This is the official Magic the Gathering client from Wizards of the Coast, so if it was banned I wouldn't be able to play it. That is not banned in 1v1 for some strange reason. Icy, a new lands matter commander, a slightly worse Tatyova in my opinion, but the extra lands do matter. So that is definitely in here as well. Again, Primeval Titan not banned in 1v1. Yeah, not too many edits, I don't think. I didn't have Ugin as a board sweeper, and that was the one thing we were lacking, is board wipes in this deck. So Ugin Cyclonic Rift can wipe the board. A new one that I haven't played with yet is Seagate Restoration. Worst case scenario, it's a Bolt land, but we're wanting to use this as a big card draw spell and no maximum hand size. So yeah, got big hopes for that one, but might be a little bit win more. We might just play it as a land more often than not. So there we are, that's the deck as it is now. Decided to give 1v1 a quick go around again and see if anyone is interested in it. The views on the channel in general have gone down. I don't know if that's because people aren't playing Magic the Gathering as much, or they're just not enjoying the content I'm putting out, whatever it is. And the 1v1 content certainly wasn't doing very well, so just using this to test the waters. Hopefully you all enjoy it. Be sure to let me know what else you would like to see from the channel. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.